All right, let's do some examples worked. And this would be our diode evaluation. And when we look at a diode, we have to be aware that it's going to be put in a circuit. So here D1 is a diode, and I'm going to say that it's got 6 volts plus 6 volts. We have polarities in our voltages too. We can have negative voltages, so we have to be aware of that. If I go and I follow my rules, I'm going to put a circle around my component. I'm going to mark it negative. I'm going to mark it positive. I'm going to mark my cathode. I'm going to mark my anode. Okay? Just so that I'm clear about what's happening in my circuit. It can get turned around real fast when we have complex circuits. So in this case, the question is, where is my voltage more positive? Is it more positive or negative, the anode or the cathode? Well, it's neither. There's not a voltage potential here, so there's no current flowing. If I don't have a voltage drop, I can't tell which way the current is going. So I could have an open switch, or I could just have a current. I could just have a portion of the circuit where, maybe I can't get flow for some reason, or I can't get flow right now. We don't know what else is going on in the circuit, but what we do know is that I have no voltage potential. So here I have a no go, because I can't see that it is forward biased. My voltage of my anode is plus 6.000 volts DC. My voltage of my cathode is plus 6.000 volts DC. Okay, let's do another one quick. Okay, I'm just going to leave this in place. Here's my diode again. Let's say that I have negative 0.7 volts and plus or minus 0 volts. Where is my voltage more negative? And my voltage is more negative, negative 0.7. I'm 0.7 volts below 0. Okay, so I have a more negative, a more positive voltage here. Okay, my current is flowing right to left, so I know that my symbols agree. My external voltage applied to my diode that needs polarity, those match. So I have a goal in this instance. Okay, so I have a goal. Over here, my voltage of my cathode is negative 0.700 volts DC. And I have plus or minus 0.000 volts DC here. Since I'm comparing volts to volts, and I'm going to be doing a lot of circuit math on this, I'm not converting this over to 700 millivolts. I'm just going to leave it at 0.7 volts. It's easier to take and have things be in the same order, I guess I would say for that. Let's do another one. So here we saw a goal. Let's do something that's positive. We'll do plus 2.7 volts. And we'll do plus 2.0 volts. Where am I more negative? Okay, I'm more negative here. I'm closer to 0 at 2.0 than I am at 2.7. So I'm more negative here. I'm more positive here. I know my current is flowing in the electron flow from the negative side of my battery through my diode, the negative portion of my diode, up towards the positive side of my battery. Okay, so this is a go. It has the 0.7 volts that it needs. It's a silicone diode. If we said 0.3 volts, that would also be a go, so we'll try one of those here in a second. My voltage at my cathode is plus 2.0 volts. 0 volts DC plus 2.7 volts DC. All right. So we know that if the voltage is the same, we have no flow, even though we may have a situation where polarity could be positive in a circuit. Something's preventing that, and it's not allowing it. Okay, so if the voltage is the same on both sides, we have no flow. I need to see that 0.7. Okay, if let's do a germanium diode. Okay, so let's say I have 3.0 volts plus 3.0, and I have plus 3.3 volts here. Okay, kind of threw you a softball. It's more negative here, it's more positive here. All right, so let's go. And I have my germanium diode drop of 0.3 volts. So my voltage in my cathode is plus 3.0 volts DC. The voltage at my anode is plus 3.3 volts DC. All right, if I took a battery and I hooked this diode up backwards, let's do that quickly. And I think we'll be done with this example. Let's say I went and put a battery right here. Let's see here. And I did plus 3 volts. Okay. First of all, let's check and see, is this a go? If I follow my current path around, I put a negative, and I put a positive. So right there, it's a no-go. What is my current at my anode and my cathode? Well, if I take my leads and I measure here, I get 3 volts across this battery. So I should have 3 volts across my diode. I create a test point here. I should have 3.0 volts DC plus, and then here's my ground. So I have 0 volts DC here. So it's basically saying, what's my voltage reference right here? So if my VA, I have another test point right here. I'm asking what's the voltage. My voltage is 0. I have no potential voltage across this little short stretch of wire from 0 to the base of my diode. So my voltage of my anode is plus or minus 0.0 volts DC, and over here my voltage of my cathode is plus 3.0 volts DC. Hopefully that helps figure out a little bit more about our diode evaluations.